From WFIU in Bloomington, Indiana, I'm Kate Young, and this is Earth Eats.
Because Filipino food is not really known like that yet, especially in Indiana. So we wanted to bring something new.
This week on the show, we visit with the owners of Pinoy Garden Cafe. They talk about what it means to them to bring authentic Filipino cuisine to Bloomington, Indiana. And they share a recipe for vegetarian lumpia, a Filipino-style spring roll that locals can't seem to get enough of. Plus, a story from Harvest Public Media about complications for farmers interested in growing hemp. That's all just ahead. Stay with us. Support for Earth Eats comes from Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Mallard Grodner Attorneys, understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. On the web at lawmg.com. Thanks for listening to Earth Eats. I'm Kate Young. The federal government is investing millions of dollars into projects that involve growing hemp. It's a crop they think can help the climate and create revenue for farmers. But as Harshan Ratapol reports, there's a lot of work to do before its potential can be realized.
Hemp is baked into the literal fiber of America. It was an important commodity for the early colonies and nation, and throughout the Revolutionary War, naval forces relied on strong, durable fiber made from hemp for rope and sail canvas. Production waned by the 20th century as substitutes like cotton gained a market foothold. Then, anti-drug advocates targeted its psychoactive variety, marijuana, in sensational propaganda like the 1936 film Tell Your Children.
Just a young boy. Under the influence of the drug, he killed his entire family with an axe.
All varieties of cannabis were effectively banned the next year, and hemp has been mostly absent from farmers' fields since then. But the 2018 Farm Bill created a legal distinction between industrial hemp and marijuana. And in 2022, the U.S. Department of Agriculture gave money to researchers around the country to study hemp. Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri, received $5 million. So now, hemp is back. Rows of green and brown hemp wave in the wind on one of the university's farms. They're all different varieties of the plant that hail from across the world. They're of different sizes and shapes, some stretching far beyond arm's reach, while others just meet the hip. Joshua Esiyama and a team of his fellow grad student researchers are collecting the hemp before they bundle it and send it to a lab. He came to the U.S. from Ghana with an interest in studying legumes, but hemp quickly caught his attention.
I found it as exciting because I may be part of the forefront of people who worked on this hemp after it's been opened from the ban that was on. So I think it's more like being part of something big, something new.
The team develops variants and growing practices that are appropriate for local soils and weather. While hemp is finally legal again, Babu Valiodin, the head of Lincoln's Hemp Institute, says there's a lack of data on genetics, which means a lot of ground-up work has to be done to figure out how to best grow hemp.
We need the best superior genetics for Midwest and for the country too. So we have to develop our own variety.
They want that variety to be good at sequestering carbon. Valiodin says scientists suspected that hemp could naturally hold in more carbon than other crops, keeping more planet-warming CO2 from entering the atmosphere. That's a big reason why there was an interest in studying it.
We have some preliminary results say that this plant can fix more carbon dioxide than other crops, and it can put more carbon to the soil.
Lincoln is focused on growing hemp that can be used for fiber and grain. It can end up in livestock bedding, animal feed, and even construction. Valiodin says they're also converting hemp oil into a biofuel that can be used for heating and transportation. But because there's a lot of work to do before all of that comes to fruition, that means the cost and risk of farming it can be high. There are also bottlenecks with the processors, or the lack of them. Midwest Natural Fiber in southeast Missouri, which transforms hemp into usable materials for manufacturers, is a partner on the project. CEO Patrick Van Meter says his company is one of the only hemp processors in the region. And that's a symptom and cause of low hemp production. It can be costly for farmers to work with a faraway processor, and local companies can't go into business or scale up operations if there isn't enough hemp.
There's a lot of chicken and egg here. I mean, that's the term you hear in this industry all the time.
And it's similar for the next step in the supply chain. Companies don't want to incorporate hemp into their products if there isn't a consistent supply of processed material. But what's important to Van Meter is that there is consumer demand.
I'm firmly convinced that the market's there if you can figure out all the front end stuff.
Lincoln University hopes that in 3 to 5 years, they'll have developed new variants fit for growing hemp in the Midwest. And farmers will finally be able to bring back the plant that's so rooted in this country's history. I'm Harshawn Rattenpaul in Columbia, Missouri.
This story is a product of the Mississippi River Basin Ag and Water Desk, and it comes to us through Harvest Public Media. I like to cook. I especially love to bake. But as we've talked about on this show before, I can't imagine trying to start a food business. It sounds like a lot of stress and a lot of risk, and I know I don't have a strong enough business sense to make it work. For that reason, I'm always fascinated with stories of people who are willing to take that chance. We even had a series about small food business startups called Making the Leap. My guests today would certainly be a perfect fit for that series.
My name is Chris Manansala, and I am the owner of Pinoy Garden Cafe.
Yeah, I'm Maria St. Clair. We serve all authentic Filipino food, and we want to share it with all of Bloomington.
Maria St. Clair and her son, Chris Manansala, took the leap. Their story belongs in a long tradition of immigrant families starting a new life in a new place, and in this case, sharing their food with their new community, and starting a business. They launched Pinoy Garden Cafe on April 2nd of 2022. Here's Chris.
We started as a pop-up event, having a pop-up at Switchyard Park, downtown Farmers Market. We also started doing catering. From that point to now, I would say that it grew pretty quick because Bloomington is very welcoming.
So right now, you don't have a food truck, but you're doing it more like a pop-up.
It has a tent. We have like 4 tables, our equipment, and then we cook on site. The other stuff that we need to cook before we get to the pop-up events, we use the commissary kitchen at One World, and then we bring it to our event where we're set up at.
And so there are some things that you can sort of cook on site while you're there, but then other things you prepare ahead of time.
Yes, because mostly of our main dishes, we have to cook it 2 or 3 hours, and then we can bring it. But the others, like the fried lumpia spring rolls, we can cook that on site because it's already been prepared the night before, and then we freeze it, and then we can just take it out and then hop it on the fryer.
Oh, that's nice. So you can have the fresh.
The freshest, yeah, because we don't want to, cook it and then put it in the cooler and then take it out. It's just soggy.
Yeah.
We want everything to be fresh.
Yeah. I was wondering if you could take me back to when you first had the idea to start the business.
Building a business or having a, like a family business has been like a dream for us because, we've worked a lot of places, a lot of restaurants, a lot of food trucks, corporate jobs, and we were just, we always talked about like, is this going to be our life forever? Can we make a difference in our family? We didn't grow up with money. We worked a lot throughout these years. So when me and my mom, we talked about what can we do to change that. We said, hey, let's start a food business because the only thing we know is Filipino food. So why not use that talent that we have and make people happy and also expand our culture? Because Filipino food is not really known like that yet, especially like in Indiana. So we wanted to bring something new. On top of that, also it's we enjoy doing it. We enjoy cooking. We enjoy serving to people. So that's like one of our main goals. It's about like what can we do long term? Because I feel like this is what we've been wanting to do for a long time. Not just a pop-up, but like we want to do like a food truck. And then eventually we want to build a restaurant. So that's the main goal right there.
So you wanted to have your own business,
Yes.
and you realized that food was probably the thing that was going to be the best choice.
Yes, because it's something we've always done, like all our lives. Because back in the Philippines, all we did was cook. You know, in the Philippines, like you can get out of your house. There's a lot of vendors out there. Because we was also a vendor in the Philippines. Like we was selling food. It's different in the Philippines compared to United States. You can go outside, there's vendors. Here it's like you have to come up with an event or join something. So it's something like that. It's different.
And is there just more of a process here, like just the regulations and the legal, and getting permits and all that stuff?
Here is more like harder. I mean, we had permits there too, but here it's like more, I'm not going to say strict, but like they pay attention to the details, make sure we're doing it right.
So you guys got the idea to do it, to start a business, and then what'd you do next?
Starting a business, it costs a lot of money. So a lot of people in the past who started a business, they jumped into it quick. So we wanted to start small, build it from scratch, even if it's harder. So the idea of a pop-up, it would make sense because it didn't cost us a lot. And it is a lot of work, but it's worth it at the end. When we first started, the farmers market introduced us to Bloomington. But we planned this like 3 months ahead. I mean, before the April 2nd, some like January, we was already planning it, fully 100% planning it. It's been in our minds for years now, but we just needed to put our heads into it 100% and make it happen.
So the first events you did were at the Bloomington Farmers Market.
Yep.
And so then where did you go from there?
So when we started at the farmers market, we was doing like once a week event, which is every Saturday. I guess the word got around. A couple people reached out from Indiana University that wanted to cater. We didn't even know what to do at the time because we didn't plan on doing caterings yet.
Right.
So we had to sit down that one night and make a plan on the pricing, what are we going to serve, how much are the costing to make the food, to get the food. Most of our stuff, our ingredients that we use, we still order it from overseas. So it is authentic. So we use a lot of authentic ingredients. So Indiana University reached out to us, and we just had to make a plan. And then from that time, after that, 1 or 2 caterings from Indiana University, the word spread out. We started doing 2-3 caterings a week. It was like once every 2 weeks, but now it's like 2 or 3 caterings a week from IU, different departments, mostly at Kelly School of Business.
That sounds like a good problem to have, but yeah, a little bit stressful at first.
Especially like being short-staffed because it was mostly me and my mom. They're in the kitchen and doing the operation, but we have my siblings help if we need them, at the events, take orders or bag the food. Also, my stepdad, he helps us with the websites, anything computers. He's the guy. Because me and my mom, we just can't handle everything because we're already in the kitchen. We're prepping, shopping, coming up with more menus. And so it's a lot. So it's good to have like my family helping also because they do a lot behind the scene.
It sounds like you kind of hit the ground running.
Yes, because Bloomington, they welcomed us with open arms. Because like I said, we didn't know it was going to turn out like this. I thought we were going to be like, okay, let's just put our business out there, do like once or twice a week. And then it just keep coming and coming and coming with more events and caterings. I still can't believe it till this day because we didn't expect that at all.
Let's talk a little bit about the food in details, like what kinds of dishes do you offer?
So when you hear Filipino, you hear about the adobo.
Yeah.
It's our main dish. So you can cook it with chicken, pork, sometimes seafood. But we offer pork adobo. So you just like marinate meat with our Filipino ingredients like soy sauce, vinegar, all kinds of stuff. We marinate it overnight, and then we cook it the next day. That starts with either fried rice or white rice. And our adobo is gluten-free. We also have the pork belly rice, and that's one of our best sellers. That's also started with fried rice or white rice. My mom came up with the adobo tacos. We tried that. We was just in the kitchen, Like, hey, let's see how's it gonna taste like. And it was good. And then we put it on our menu for that weekend, and ever since people been asking for it. So adobo tacos is like one of our also best sellers.
So what's the adobo taco? It has the adobo pork and
Yep,
then
the adobo pork and then a flour tortilla, and then you have the meat, cheese, pico de gallo, cilantro, onions, and our 2 special sauces on top.
wow, so sauce upon sauce, it sounds like.
Yeah. And also the lumpia spring rolls. That's one of our well-known side dish in the Philippines, or when you hear about Filipinos, is the spring rolls. We roll about, I think, 500 pieces for like every week. Sometimes if there's catering, there's more, maybe to 1,000. So it's a long process with the spring rolls.
And yours is a chicken.
Chicken, yeah. We offer pork and veggie on our caterings, but mostly chicken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask next, do you have any vegetarian dishes?
Yes, we do. We have the pancit stir-fry noodles. So it's a rice noodles with cabbage and carrots. And then we cook it with our Filipino ingredients with soy sauce and garlic powder, and we just mix it. And that's also gluten-free. So some people call it like a stew because he has the soup into it. Because the soup is for the rice. So you're just not eating the meat, but you're also enjoying the rice and then the soup, the combination.
So it's the meat's just kind of cooking in that. It's marinating in it. It's cooking in it for a while. So it's really got that flavor. And then you use the sauce itself over the rice.
Yep.
And what kind of flavors? Like what are the spices? What kinds of spices? Is it sweet?
It's sweet and tangy.
Sweet and tangy. Okay. And have you struggled to find ingredients for the authentic dishes?
Yes. Half of the time that we operated, so from April till now, half of these times there's been like a struggle trying to get the ingredients because, we still order from overseas. We have a couple international markets that we reach out to so they can order it from us. Sometimes I have to go to Indianapolis and drive up there and look at a couple international markets that has the ingredients that we use, and sometimes they don't. We try to make sure we save it on our shelves for the next week or two.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard getting it from another country.
Yeah, you can't get it last minute.
No, you can't.
You've
You
got
have
to
to order it
stock.
ahead, like a week or two, sometimes longer, because so they can order like a bulk.
Yeah. And what kinds of things do you have to order?
The soy sauce, the vinegars, the garlic powders, also like the spring roll wrappers, because those are very famous here. We're not just Filipinos using it, also like other Asian cultures, they use the same rice paper. So when we go to international market, if you be lucky, you have some on the shelf. So you have to like order them in the bulk.
And especially how many you guys are going through in a
Yeah,
week.
with caterings and events on top of that, yeah. But mainly we have like 3 or 4 different international markets. And like in Indianapolis, Viet Hoa international markets, they have probably the biggest market in Indiana. So mostly all our stuff comes from there too.
I see. Yeah, I think I've been there before.
Because they have a lot of
It's
stuff in
huge.
stock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a kind of a long drive sometimes.
Yeah. So you'd probably want to stock up when you got there.
Yeah, so when I go there, make sure I buy a bulk that'll last us for 3 weeks.
That's Chris Manansala talking about the ins and outs of running his food business, Pinoy Garden Cafe. After a short break, we'll meet up with Chris and his mom and business partner, Maria St. Clair, for a cooking session at One World Kitchen Share. Stay with us. Support for Earth Eats comes from Columbus, Indiana, overflowing with everywhere art and unexpected architecture. Tickets for guided architecture tours and trip planning at columbus.in.us. Kate Young here. This is Earth Eats. We're in the kitchen at One World Commissary, where the owners and chefs of Pinoy Garden Cafe prepare the food for their pop-up events and catering. They have generously agreed to share the recipe for one of their most popular dishes. Maria St. Clair will be preparing the dish, and Chris Manansala will be cooking it. What are we going to make today?
We're making the vegetable lumpia spring rolls.
For those who don't know lumpia, it's a lovely fried spring roll type appetizer, often filled with a seasoned chicken or pork mixture. Today we're making vegetarian lumpia.
This is one of our best sellers for catering also. We always have a lot of orders for this.
Could either of you explain how lumpia is different from a spring roll or an egg roll?
I think the difference is the ingredients that we use.
And also, is the shape or how you roll it any different?
It's almost the same as, the others. Okay. Yes. Mainly, really, it's just the ingredients.
What goes into the filling?
Okay, so with a vegetable lumpia, you can put any kind of vegetable that you like. This is just the basic. I use cabbage and carrots just because that's what our customers request. This is their favorite, just 2 main ingredients.
So then what's the first step?
Okay, the first step, so I chop the cabbage and the carrots thinly, then I saute it and I just put garlic powder, salt, pepper. That's it. A little bit of the liquid seasoning that came from our country. After that, I let it cool, and then I use the regular spring roll wrapper that you can buy. You can buy this in any Asian store.
The wrappers are thin 8-inch square sheets made with wheat and sometimes rice flour.
So what I do is I prepare it in a long and thin way, just because we want it like a bite size. So that's how we present it to our customers during our catering. So what we do is I just get maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons just to, make sure that you have enough filling.
She arranges the filling in a line down the center of the wrapper.
Not too much, just enough, and then you line them up, and then you fold it. So one big fold, you have to make sure that this is tightened up. You tighten up, and then you roll it. Make sure it's not loose. So once in a while, you need to take a grip and then roll it again. And then I use sometimes water to seal the wrapper, or eggs. So I just put a little bit of amount at the edge of the wrapper, and then you close it, and then smooth it out a little bit more just to make sure it's sealed. And then you freeze this. It's much better to freeze it before you fry. It helps if it's frozen.
Okay, so there's no closing it at the end.
No closing at the end. That's what we do, but I have a second way to do it. But this time, it's a much bigger egg roll or vegetable roll. This is like a diamond shape. This way, you put a little bit more of the filling just in the middle, just like that. And then you close it.
You're like bringing that front corner up.
Yeah. And then same way, you roll it one time, and then here at the edge, you close the edge, the sides. Just making like a triangular shape. And then the other side again, you fold it. There, so you sealed the sides already. Then you continue folding until you close the whole wrapper. But of course, you need to seal it with the eggs.
Okay, so I see that you've got, that one is a little thicker. It's more like what I think of as a spring roll or an egg roll.
Yes. So it really depends on how our our clients want it. If they want it bite size, we prepare it long ways like this, and then we divide it into 3.
Oh, I see. Once it's cooked, you would cut it.
Yes, we cut it. And then this one, if they just want something big like this, yeah, that's how I make the bigger version. So you'll fry it. And then there's 2 sauces for this. So if you want the sweet chili sauce, which is like the normal sauce for spring rolls, like lumpia, and also I have the vinegar with onions. So this is chopped red onions with vinegar. I put a little bit of sugar, salt, and that's it.
And so I'm guessing that the vegetarian isn't the typical one that you make. What other kinds of fillings do you make?
I can put tofu here, turnips. We also use turnips, green beans. It really depends on what kind of vegetables you want to put as filling.
And then what about the meat ones?
The meat ones, we use the ground pork, ground chicken. Soon, we are going to do the adobo version of the lumpia.
So what is that going to involve? What is that like?
The adobo meat, I will just make it as lumpia. So we're still trying that.
Okay. So you'll cook the meat like you do the adobo, yeah, and then you'll just cut it up real small to fit it into
What I do is I'm gonna dry it a little bit, but all the seasonings, marination is there. Right. And then once it's dried up, and it's cooled down, then I'm gonna put it as a filling. I'm gonna try so many ways on how. Yeah. So yeah, that's our next thing that we're gonna feature. Yeah.
So some recipe testing is ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so are we ready to go to the frying stage, or do you want to make some more, or how do you want to do it?
Frying station?
Yeah, we can do that.
While Maria was teaching me how to roll lumpia, Chris was heating up oil in the deep fryer. And in case you're wondering, at home, you probably could try using an air fryer. Just brush the outside of the lumpia with oil first and give it a try. Chris and Maria recommend freezing the lumpia first. They tend to hold together better in the fryer.
So with this process, normally the lumpia takes like 3 to 4 minutes, just depends on the temperature. So for us, we use 400 degrees, so it's like a quick fry.
And so you're able to take a fryer like this to your pop-up so that you can fry them on the spot.
Yes, because we want to make sure our spring rolls are fresh. And then once you see the golden brown color, then it's cooked. Okay. It's with the veggies. But with the meat, like the pork lumpia and chicken lumpia, it's way different. That process might take like 5 minutes because you want the meat in there to cook.
So for the meat ones, you don't pre-cook the meat that goes in there?
No, we don't. Just ground chicken or pork. And then we season them up, and then we wrap it into the lumpia spring rolls, and then we drop it into the fryer. And now we started seeing that brown color. And that's how you know that it's done. But every time we cook lumpia, we check the temperature first before we give it to the customer, because we want to make sure that it's on the right temperature. Because sometimes just because it's a brown color doesn't mean the inside is cooked. So we make sure that it's cooked.
Okay. All right. So which one should I try first? The skinny one?
You can do the skinny one, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know they're probably going to taste similar,
but the skinny one, it has the filling, but the big egg rolls one has more filling inside.
Right.
So.
Also, it's just a different experience. I think this is probably a different texture.
Yeah, a lot of times we cut the long ones into 3 pieces.
That's right.
So it's like a bite size. Somebody just wants like an appetizer.
That's so good. Thank you. I don't want to double dip. Yeah, because my first bite was mostly the wrapper, so I gotta get the second one with the filling. Yeah, I mean, it's so simple, but it all kind of works together to make this really delightful appetizer that is so crunchy. Like, the texture's everything. It's just so great. Okay, let me try it with this vinegar onion.
That's more of a traditional.
Yeah, traditional.
Back in
that's
the
why.
Philippines with the vinegar, because that vinegar, it's not just regular vinegar. It's a Filipino brand vinegar.
And the way we do the sauce, it's
It's
I
different.
can't explain.
It's different from like other
yeah.
places that serves egg rolls. It's
Yeah.
just it's the sauce. Mostly it's the sauce.
Yeah, I like that sauce much more, actually.
really? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't really like sweet sauces, and this is just such a
Yeah,
great
that's traditional,
contrast.
Actually,
You know, because sometimes fried things can feel a little heavy, and I feel like the vinegar really cuts through and just makes it more bright or something.
well, I'm going to like.
I love it. I bet all the other flavors are good too, but I just like the simple vegetables. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Also with our vegetable lumpia, this is actually a great pair with the pancit stir-fried noodles vegetables. So that's like a good pair for like vegetarians. They can only enjoy, they can enjoy the rice noodles and the vegetable lumpia together.
So, are the vegetarian versions of these dishes, are they not traditional to Filipino food?
Oh, they are. They are.
They are.
Yes, they are.
It's not just the Americanized
No,
version.
it's not. No, no. But in the Philippines, we use more of the bean sprouts.
Oh, that would be good.
Yes, but as I say, we ask our customers what their likings are, because most of them they don't like sprouts.
But I would think bean sprouts would be a good texture in there, though. I would
Yes,
like that.
Actually, yes, it is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to share it with listeners.
Of course, thank you
Thank
for
you
having
so
us. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
That was Chris Manansala and Maria St. Clair, the mother-son team behind Pinoy Garden Cafe. After a short break, we'll return to my studio conversation with Chris, where he reflects on what it means for him to share the food of his homeland with the Bloomington community. Stay with us. Support for Earth Eats comes from Columbus, Indiana, overflowing with everywhere art and unexpected architecture. Tickets for guided architecture tours and trip planning at columbus.in.us. This is Earth Eats. I'm Kate Young, and we're back in the studio with Chris Manansala. Chris and his mom, Maria St. Clair, are the owners of Pinoy Garden Cafe, a pop-up and catering company serving authentic Filipino cuisine here in Bloomington, Indiana. I asked Chris to share a little about his family's background.
So, we're originally from the Philippines. We came here at 2009, but not in Bloomington, in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where we're originally from. We moved to Bloomington in 2016. Bloomington is a great family environment because when we came from, it's pretty rough down there. So,
In Louisville or in the Philippines?
Louisville, we had to leave Louisville because a lot of things are not. There's not really opportunities there, and also we wanted to be close to my brother because he went to IU.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we also came here to get closer, because family is very important to us. We want to be together. So that's one of the reasons why we came here in Bloomington also. And my stepdad, because he's been here for 40 years.
When did your family move to Louisville?
So we moved to Louisville 2009. So we came
2009,
straight from
yeah,
the Philippines to Louisville.
And where did you live in the Philippines? In a big city or in a small town?
It was more of a mix. So province and then the city. We had to move a lot because either jobs or living conditions, stuff like that.
And you said mostly the work that you guys had done was mostly in food?
In food industry. And also half of that is corporate jobs. My mom used to work at healthcare. I also worked at healthcare, like building medical supplies, stuff like that. But mostly restaurants. and food trucks. So we've been around food a lot.
Were you guys also kind of missing the food from the Philippines?
It's different compared here to the Philippines, because in the Philippines, there are so many foods. Here, it's like a limit because we don't know how to cook everything. Because in the Philippines, there are different areas that introduce other Filipino dishes. A lot of food that are from province that we don't know how to cook, but it's really good. Only probably if you have a family member in the province, you can learn from them how to cook it. But there are a lot of different type of Filipino foods.
Do you guys go back at all?
We haven't been back since 2000. We haven't left the United States yet, but we're planning on visiting. We want to feel that environment again because it's been 14 years since we've been back there.
Wow.
So we would love to go back home and also learn from them too, because we still have a lot of things that we need to learn. Being back home, I think is going to help that, to learn more. The real authentic, how they make it there, because it's different how we make it here.
And you might not even be able to do everything here because of the ingredients and stuff.
Yep. Also, the equipments. There are a lot of manual equipments in the Philippines that they use. Here, you can't get those.
Okay, like what's an example of that?
So I would say so those push carts with like grills. So there you can just go anywhere with a cart and just sell food. Here, you can't do that. Also, ice cream makers are different. You have to do it manually. Here, it's push start, here. But you have to do it like manually. So a lot of things are manual over there.
Yeah. Do you guys make ice cream?
We do. We have the halo halo. It's like the Filipino dessert. So that's we're very well known in the Philippines, the halo halo. So it's like a fruit gels on the bottom. You have fresh bananas, shredded coconut, and you put the shredded ice, like a snow cone. You put evaporated milk, and then you put either mango ice cream or vanilla ice cream, however ice cream you want to put. And we put the sweet flan, like a flan on top.
Wow, this sounds very complicated.
With the purple yam. So and then you mix it together from top to bottom. You mix it, make sure because most of the sweets are in the middle, where all the evaporated
Wait, so
milk
when
is.
you're eating it, you mix it together?
Yeah, you have to mix it before you eat it.
I see, but you serve it and it's all in those layers.
On those layers, yep.
Could you talk about your relationship to the foods of your home, the foods of home, and what does this food mean to you, or what does it mean to you to be making it here?
It means a lot making it here because we're representing our culture. Also, the family, some of the family recipes that my mom's been carrying for years that she's always wanted to show out. Now that we have that chance to do that, it feels great. Filipino food is not really known in the Midwest. I feel like here is a perfect place to do that.
Yeah.
Because also Indiana University has a lot of it's very diverse. A lot of Asian American students, and there is a group of Filipino American Association, and we will like also to show them and give them Filipino food, because I feel like a lot of people miss home, especially like those students that's from out of state, not from Indiana, and they miss home cooked meals, and they can get it from us.
Where do you see the business going? What are your plans right now?
We're looking for a trailer right now. Our goal is maybe by April. That's the latest, because the farmers market starts that time. The food truck Friday starts at that time. A lot of events starting that time.
And how would a food trailer be different than a food truck, or is it kind of the same thing?
A food trailer is like something you can hook on a pickup truck and then drive it around. We want to do that because it's cheaper. Like I said, we want to do step by step. We didn't want to jump into a pop-up and then a restaurant. Even though a lot of people are saying that, hey, get a restaurant, hey, get us commercial building. But we wanted to start with a food trailer. It's funny thing is, there are a lot of people that are sending us messages with pictures of food trucks. Hey, I found this food truck for you guys. Hey, this will be perfect for you guys. Check it out. We want you guys to have a trailer or a food truck. It's great, but it's funny at the same time because we didn't expect that. But a food truck is like, the drivable one.
Right.
We didn't want to like get that because that's very expensive. It's difficult because if you have the food truck, well, you have to have like a money on the side for repairs.
Yeah.
Because it costs a lot. A trailer is a good idea because the only thing you need to worry about is the inside.
I can see the way that could make sense. I hadn't really thought about it before.
Mm-hmm. Also, our menu is going to expand even more because
Right.
we have so many Filipino food that we want to introduce.
Oh.
But it's just so hard for us because doing a pop-up, you can't have 10, 12, or 15 menus in one day. We had to pick like the top 4, maybe 5 sometimes that we can sell.
Right.
Because our time is limited. But when we get that trailer, it'd be easier for us to park somewhere like all day long. We can be there and have like picnic tables and upgraded menu.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that sounds great. And then you said that your long-term goal was to perhaps have a restaurant, but you're trying to just do it in steps.
mm-hmm. That's our big goal because, like I said, we have a lot of plans, not just the food trucks, but like how the inside of the restaurant is going to look, how the outside is going to look. Maybe we can put like entertainment inside the restaurant or karaoke because Filipinos love karaoke. They can karaoke all night long, so we want to make sure we have like a karaoke section over there. But it's a lot of plans with the restaurant, but that's like long term.
And you feel like you're liking the work?
For me personally, I think this is like the best job I ever had.
Oh.
Just because I'm with my family. We're doing what we love to do, which is Filipino food. It is a lot of work. It's like 3-5 times the work compared to working somewhere else. But at the same time, it's also good because we control our own hours. Also, we don't have to answer to nobody, which is, it's like the freedom, basically. And we get to see our family a lot. Because when we was working for other companies, we can't take this off. We can't have a weekend off. Now, like, we can enjoy having, family functions and stuff like that.
And also, if you, like you said, you're working with your family, so you're spending more time together even when you're at work.
Yeah, which is good.
I know some families that could put a lot of stress on the family relationships, but it sounds like you guys are pretty close.
Families bump heads sometimes, but it's nothing personal. But we love working with each other. Even sometimes we have disagreements and stuff like that. That happens. It's life. But, but it's never, like, personal.
Yeah.
And we also learn a lot from each other, too. Even though, like, we've known each other for a long time as a family.
So you mean you're not just learning things from a family member, you're learning things about them that you didn't know before.
Like how they operate physically, the ideas they have. Like they throw ideas, and I'm like, I didn't know that. And so it works pretty well.
Or like what their organizational style is.
Yes,
how they keep things together.
Recipes. Also, like what else do you have in mind that you've been keeping? Like that we can like put on the business. So it's a lot of things plays out.
That's really great. That's a great thing to hear. While Pinoy Garden Cafe has experienced some early success, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. They secured a spot for vending at Lotus Fest this year. Lotus is an annual world music festival held in downtown Bloomington every September. But unfortunately, Maria and Chris were missing some crucial information about the setup.
We didn't know that there was no outlets. So we were like, wait, nobody told us about a generator. Because mainly our pop-up events has outlets.
Okay, so like when you do a Food Truck Friday, you can plug into electricity at Switchyard.
Switchyard or at the farmer's market downtown. There are outlets, but at Lotus Festival, we wasn't aware. I should have asked. That's kind of like my fault. But it wasn't bad, but we had to leave the place and go get a generator rented.
So on the spot, you had to go get a generator while you're getting ready to do the event.
Yeah, I had to call Master Rental. I was like, hey, do you guys have a generator available right now? Which they did. So I picked it up and...
Wow.
Yeah, it was...
that sounds so stressful.
There were a couple of events that was like very stressful. Like, wait, we need a generator? It was nerve-wracking.
What is your plan when you're at an event like that? Like, what kind of food do you bring, and how do you?
So when we first got to Food Truck Fridays, as a customer, we saw how the process of Food Truck Fridays is. So when we got invited, we already made a plan saying, hey, we need to make sure it's not a long wait. We make sure that everything is scooped and served, but it's fresh. The only thing that people probably going to have to wait is the lumpia, because we cook the lumpia fresh.
Right.
So, but we're already like cooking 3 or 4 orders at a time. So once that's cooked, we put it on like a pot. It's still hot. Then we cook another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So the process can be faster, because we have a plan of make sure the customers only wait not less than 5 minutes for our food.
Another venue that was full of surprises was the Monroe County Fair this summer.
The whole week from like Monday through Sunday.
Oh, man.
So we was at the fair from Monday to Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, it wasn't that busy because we didn't know how the flow of the fair was during the weekdays, because people were working at the time. But Wednesday through Sunday, it was started getting busy. But that was our first time doing the fair, and it was crazy. The thing is, the surprise is we didn't know that a lot of people would get Filipino food, because, fair, if you go to the fair, you eat fair food.
Yeah.
Corn dogs and fried Oreos, stuff like that, all the good stuff.
Funnel cakes.
Funnel cakes, mainly, yes.
Corn, turkey leg.
Yep. Yeah, I think that time I had 4 orders of fried Oreos, because that's the only time I get to eat fried Oreos like that. So I had that one day I had like 4 or 5 orders. So I was just, but I didn't know that a lot of people would buy or eat Filipino food at the fair. So a lot of people came there just to see us and get food, which is very like humbling. We're grateful for that.
You mean there were some of your customers or people who had already tried your food who knew you were going to be out there and came for you?
They came for us, yeah. There are a couple people saying, yeah, we don't even go to the fair, but you guys are here, so we're going to get some food. So that was good to hear. So it was something like
But then there were a lot of fairgoers who'd never heard of you.
Yeah, and they were like, wait, there's Filipino food in Bloomington? And then so they went to our booth and bought a lot of food from us. It's mainly the lumpia, because a lot of people know about the lumpia. Yeah, the whole week we was slammed, especially like the Saturday. There were a couple times that we had to close down for like an hour so we can bring more food from the commissary, because we had a backup food just in case we sold out. Mm-hmm. So we sold out twice in like a day, and
That's wild.
We didn't know about that, but we had that gut feeling that, hey, I think we should make like 2 batches, which we did. Yeah, it was a great atmosphere over there. Being at the fair, being there as a vendor is different than being there as a customer, but it was a good experience.
Well, that's cool. It's great to hear you say that it was a good experience, because I would just think so hot and so long.
It was hot, but we would like to do it again next year, but with the trailer. Mm-hmm. I feel like it would be easier.
Oh, right, because you guys were just in a booth.
Yeah, we was on the booth. A tent.
Were you inside or outside?
Outside, so it was pretty hot.
Yeah.
The fan that we brought, it wasn't even enough. So.
Yeah. Before we wrapped up, I asked Chris if there was anything else he wanted to say.
We would like to thank everyone who's been there for us since we opened April 2nd, 2022. A lot of people helped us along the way. I want to thank Mr. Clarence Boone of the Farmers Market, because he's the one that really put us on the map. He helped us to be out there in front of Bloomington. Also, Mr. Jeff Meese of Warriors and stuff like that, where we can cook also. Just everyone who supported us too from the start, because our regular customers also, they show up every event we go to. Hey, you remember me? Hey, yeah, of course we do. So we want to thank them, because it's Bloomington's been very welcome for us.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
That was Chris Manansala of Pinoy Garden Cafe in Bloomington. You can find out more about the business he runs with his mom, Maria St. Clair, on our website, eartheats.org. And since we first aired this interview at the end of 2022, Pinoy Garden Cafe has really taken off. In April of 2024, they realized their dream of opening a food truck, or more accurately, a trailer. This summer, they were a big hit at the popular food festival Taste of Indy up in Indianapolis. This fall, they landed an exciting gig as guest chef at Gainbridge Stadium for Indiana Pacers games. They are the first Filipino vendors inside the arena, and they have been selling out. Chris's little sister Kate is following in her mother and her brother's footsteps. She started her own business, Ube Love, featuring sweet treats made with ube. That's a purple yam that is popular in the Philippines. Everything she makes is a gorgeous shade of purple, and she got started while still in high school. I hope to have a chance to feature Ube Love on Earth Eats in the future, so stay tuned. Also, be sure to check out the video we made with producer Peyton Whaley, where Chris Manansala of Pinoy Garden Cafe whips up their ever-popular Halo Halo. It's a colorful, icy drink that is full of surprises. Check it out on YouTube. Just search for Earth Eats on YouTube or find us on the WTIU YouTube channel. And we'll share a link to that video at eartheats.org. That's it for our show this week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. The Earth Eats team includes Eoban Binder, Alexis Carvajal, Alex Chambers, Toby Foster, Leo Pies, Daniela Richardson, Samantha Shimenauer, Peyton Whaley, and we partner with Harvest Public Media. Special thanks this week to Chris Manansala and Maria St. Clair. Earth Eats is produced and edited by me, Kate Young. Our theme music is composed by Aaron Toby and performed by Aaron and Matt Toby. Additional music on the show comes to us from Universal Production Music. Our executive producer is Eric Bolstridge.
Hoosier Spirits is a new documentary from WTIU and Indiana Public Media that explores Indiana's deep distilling roots and visits distilleries across the state to get a glimpse at the future of Hoosier Spirits. Learn more, check out a map of Indiana distilleries, and get the recipe for our exclusive cocktail at WTIU.org/Hoosier Spirits.